Hi, I'm Heather Legacy, and I wanted to just share with you some thoughts that I've been having since the new year. So, welcome to 2023. And one of the things that I think should be really the only resolution, the only goal, the only aspiration is that this year we learn from life and proceed in a more helpful, life enhancing way than we did last year. Honestly, I feel like that's the only real helpful objective we can have. But there are guides, there are things that people write, quotes, songs, encouragement from other people, mistakes that we reflect on that can help inform our choices. And if we spend some time looking back over the last year and saying, what did I do well? And what do I regret? That's the kind of information that we need in order to guide our particular individual life for 2023. In dialectic behavioral therapy, two questions that I really value, and I ask myself and I ask other people regularly, is in this problematic situation, what could you do that would make this worse? We generally know. And if we ask ourselves ahead of time, before we actually blow things up, then we can name what our normal, impulsive, survival, fight, flight, or freeze behavior might be. And we can say that's on the do not do list. And the other really informative, helpful question is to ask, what might you do in this problematic situation that would make this incrementally better? So if we just have two questions for this year, what would make things worse and what would make things incrementally better? Those are really great guiding questions. I also wanted to share, I pulled a book off a shelf that I've had for a long time. It's the Simple Abundance book, but it's been rewritten in 2019, I think. And randomly, not for January, but I found this page that I thought was really helpful. It goes back to my lens of thinking about our habitual behaviors and our repeated patterns of thought. We have random thoughts that we can't control, and we do things almost like a reflex without really intentionally behaving that way. However, we also have really strong habits of our thought patterns and really strong habits of behavior. And those we can know, we can recognize, and we can tell ourselves the truth about them. The first thing to do is slow it down. Our reactive survival response is never the best choice, unless we truly are in a situation that's life or death. Very rare. But if we can feel that strong feeling and realize, I'm in a survival mode. How do I know I am? My heart's beating faster. I feel a big feeling. I feel very frustrated, very angry, very scared. And my behavior begins to be a fight. I want to go towards something or someone. I want to flee. I'm just looking for an exit door. I just want to get out of this. I don't want to deal with this. Or a freeze, where we just aren't really making any helpful decisions. We're just numbing out. We all experience those. Those are life responses. Those are reactions that we have to save our lives. But again, most of the time, we're not really in a situation to save our life. We're only trying to intuit what's the best plan and then proceed helpfully. So what I want to share is actually on page 339 of Simple Abundance by Sarah Brethnock. And she has a couple of lists that I think might resonate. They certainly resonated with me. That really identifies habits of our thinking, habits of behavior that we want to put on that list. This would make it worse. This would make things go sideways. This would blow it up. This would self-sabotage. We want to identify those so that we know what they are before we do them. And then we want to think of what's the opposite. What is a thoughtful, intentional thought that we can feed ourselves, and what is a productive behavior? So here's the do not do first. Wanting what you can't have. Not wanting what you do have. Seeing the world as hostile. Believing life is hard. Over-reliance on outside circumstances to initiate change. Believing that money is the answer for everything. Believing you're unlucky. Believing that things will never change for the better. Exhaustion. Not eating well. Not exercising. Not listening to your body. Feeling unworthy of happiness, love, or success. Not knowing what you love. Not knowing who you are. Not recognizing addictive behavior patterns or dependence. Workaholism in the name of getting ahead or staying on top of things. Perfectionism. Lack of humor. Inability to laugh at oneself. Shyness in social situations. Lack of spontaneity. Thinking you're too inexperienced. Pretending that you're more experienced than you are. Believing the world will fall apart if you're not holding it together. Inability to ask or receive help. Inability to be part of a team. Inability to say no gracefully. Needing to please. Seeing everything as competitive. Confusing being argumentative with being articulate. Always needing to be right. Putting others down so you can feel superior. Not trusting your intuition. Not pursuing your dreams. Making promises you dread. Making promises you know won't or can't be kept. Making promises just to keep the peace. Thinking that worrying will make it better. The inability to relax. Isn't it a great list? I think it's a very comprehensive list of what all of us do some of the time. The first step towards a better present, a better future, is identifying what we do that interrupts our ability to grow and learn from life. And the next thing is to think about how can we make this moment incrementally better by making better choices. Just interrupting that thought. The thought's there. It's leading down a road. It's feeling miserable. You're sinking. You're feeling overwhelmed, angry, irritated, paralyzed. Then we have to go back to, what was that thought? What did I tell myself that led to that feeling and then to that behavior? Just reset. Do it as many times as you need to. What's a more productive thought? What's a better alternative? I'm wishing myself a contented new year that begins by reflecting on what we did that we wish we hadn't done and what we want that's more life enhancing, and putting all of our emphasis not on the regret, but on learning from life, learning to catch your thought that's leading to a bad feeling and unproductive behavior, and deciding what new behaviors you choose for yourself that lead you closer to where you want to go instead of further away. I thank you for joining me in these moments, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. I wish you well.